All right, welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I will follow you back. And I'm joined by my co-host, my man KB. How you doing this evening?
Good. I'll follow everyone back except Byron.
And shout out to Shooter in the Stash, We the Thunder uh, podcast. Great show talking about the Lightning. And we will definitely be doing more with Shooter in the Stash as the weeks progress. They are an integral part of Buck What You Heard, and I really appreciate working with them. So again, thank you guys, and we're gonna make this work. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just had a game on Monday in which they won,
Victory
and
Tuesday, baby.
Victory Tuesday, which has put me all out of sorts. And I've got this Victory Monday shirt that I was so used to wearing last year and year before that haven't really got a chance to wear it a whole lot, but it was nice that the Bucs pulled out a win. And you know, they're supposed to win games like this, not in this fashion, but they're supposed to win these games. I'm happy with the end result. I mean, as a fan, because this is a fan show, as a fan, I'm happy with the end results of the game. However, it just puts a lot of stress on the fan base, and you can really see that. I I think if you went on Twitter, like I turned off social media during the game and just you know focus on the game, nothing else, and fell asleep after the game was over. Fell asleep, and when I woke up and just kind of going back and reading through the comments and the tweets, it was like bipolar because for 4 quarters, well, almost most of 4 quarters, what you saw was just like utter chaos. And then they finally put some drives together and win the game. I want to get your takes on the game and how you felt that everything went.
It's bad, man. It's the process that's the issue. I mean, Gene and I were talking before the show before we hopped on and went live, and essentially it's like when the Bucks offensively, at least I'm speaking offensively, I think the
Mm,
defense is doing a lot of really good
mhm,
things, especially with some injuries, especially in the
mhm.
secondary right now, and
Right.
also no Shaq Barrett. Shout out to Carl Nassib, who had probably both him and
Oh, he
Keanu
was
Neal
balling.
both had game saving plays. But
Right.
offensively, our success is just occurring when essentially the headsets. I mean, I wouldn't say they're turned off, but I mean, when you're in no huddle, the quarterback's
Hmm.
essentially calling the play.
Hmm.
Whether that be a one word, hey, Bronco, 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 razor, razor, like what they have a one word association for play to let the receivers know kind of what's going on in that
Hmm.
game. That's the only way we're moving the ball. I mean, other than a scripted, first possession field goal, like there
Hmm.
was nothing to be proud of. And then I think everyone's gonna talk about the fourth down inside the Saints territory. I think you have to go for that. I think it was 4th and 7.
Hmm.
The process says to do it. The analytics say to do it. It makes sense. I mean, the Bucks wind up
Hmm.
punting. Only lost 20 yards of field position.
Yeah.
That's not a good process to win.
Yeah.
And again, it's just, hey, they're for as bad as everything has gone, this team is still magically 500. So we just, it seems like each week we're just waiting
Hmm.
for the breakout, waiting for things to come together, and hopefully it occurs. Maybe.
Yeah. At the beginning of the season, we can kind of rewind back to the beginning of the season. The first 6 games, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, the Bucks, they haven't played together. I mean, you lose some offensive linemen, you got some newbies in there, and they're trying to, find that synchronization, and it just never really, it didn't come about for the first 6 games, and that was really concerning for me. And from everything that I've seen from game one to now has just been so inconsistent, and it's uncharacteristic. And I know a lot. I know some of it you can put on Tom. With
Oh,
just
this was Tom's worst game. I think this was his worst game of the season. I think it was worse
mhm.
than what I thought was previously was the Baltimore game. This
Yeah,
was
yeah,
worse.
yeah. And again, they what he knows what to do. To under 2 minutes, this guy is amazing. I think he has the record for comeback
30
wins
some
now.
35. I mean,
Yeah,
he's had it, but
yeah,
it's not even
yeah,
close to second place.
yeah. So here's a man that's he's still going out there. They're still playing, and the playoffs are still an option for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just
It's
would like to.
it's it's almost a certainty right now, Gene. I mean, it's essentially you beat the Falcons, you're essentially in.
Hey, Nestor Cervantes, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for checking us out. I appreciate you in the chat. Um, yeah, I mean, with the NFC South the way it is, um, and they do have this game with Atlanta. They have Atlanta and Carolina left, I think, are
The last 2 weeks. So
the
you
last two
go
weeks.
49ers, you go Bengals, I'll be at that Bengals game, and you go Atlanta, Carolina.
Yeah, and I saw when I was kind of going back through the chats and everything like that on Twitter. A lot of people were asking what's wrong with Mike Evans and Tom Brady. Why are they out of sync? Is
I'd ask
in
what's wrong with Tom Brady more. I don't think there's
mm,
much to really say about Mike. Mike was open last night
mhm,
or Monday night,
yeah,
excuse me. He
yeah.
was open.
Mhm. G Vegas, what's going on? Bud Cannibalist, how you guys doing? Thanks for checking us out. Appreciate you in the chat. Let's see. Let me get some of these some of these comments up here. G Vegas was saying Mike Evans needs to be involved more the rest of the season. Past few weeks, some no-name cornerbacks are holding him in check.
They're not
Um,
holding him in check. He's open.
yeah,
And also
I
Brady's missing throws. So I mean, again, Monday night, if you want to talk about Brady's process, that was wrong. He had one read straight to check down to running back.
mm,
That's not good. And
no.
the O-line did pretty well. Other than Donnie, I think
Mm,
everyone else did pretty okay. I mean, Wells wasn't great either, but
mm.
um,
He
Tom
was serviceable. I'll say he was serviceable.
for OT3 against the Saints and how physical they are, especially he's
Yeah,
going against Cam Jordan most of the time.
Karen Jordan. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you're right. And his Twitter's been pretty quiet lately, which I'm good with that too.
Hey,
But anyway,
they're in the top 5 pick right now for the Eagles right now.
yeah, they are,
Good
man.
for
They're
them.
really helping the Eagles out here. And so I don't know, man. Like I
And
said,
the
and
Eagles
there's
might not
there,
even need a quarterback either. So the Eagles about to really
yeah,
load up on some talent with the Saints help.
yeah. This is where you can get best player off the board right here. So again, man, this is one of those things where when you look at this team, it's got to be week to week. It's nothing that you can put you can't put games together anymore. It's like this team, you got to wait and see what you get from week to week. Is that a fair? I mean, would you say that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, until I see it, I ain't believing it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we had a healthy Russell Gage was out there. I think for the most part, everybody's healthy. So yeah, but we're in the same room with you when you talk about Lord Byron. I just cannot. I don't. I know that Jason Light and the ownership is looking at this. I know they've got to be seeing this, and they've been with this organization for so long. They know where this is going. They have
Well,
to know
and
where
the
this is
one thing
going.
that's weird though is, and I've tweeted about this, I've talked about it on this podcast. I mean, Brady loves Byron. So let's say if Brady did want to come back for a 4th year, do you let Byron go if he makes Tom that happy? Or is Tom even happy? Like these are things that
Yeah,
go on behind closed
I
doors that we
have
don't know.
to. I don't know. I just have to question that. I don't. Is he genuinely happy with it?
Bro, like I'm telling you on that, remember that Carolina game?
Uh huh.
Literally after the moment after Mike Evans dropped that pass, everything offensively at least went to shit. I mean, against Carolina of all teams. And I'm telling you, they were hugging each other up. They were very upbeat on the sidelines. They were very close and conversational the entire time they were on the sideline. I mean, we see Byron's usually the first hug after a win or a game-winning drive or what. It's usually Byron's who Brady's going straight to.
Hmm.
Like, I think they genuinely love and care about each other, which
Yeah.
I mean, you'd see I've never seen him throw a tablet or curse at him the way that I've seen him curse at Josh McDaniel, for instance.
Yeah, this is true. This is very true. So, and somebody talking about Mike Evans. He's sitting at 761 right now. Um,
Doable.
230. Oh, but it's definitely doable. Um, I think it will happen. I think
He
that
always finds
Tom
a way to
Burt,
make it close too.
yeah,
Especially since
and
Jameis left. I feel like he's always right at that teeter.
he
I mean,
is.
he got it, then immediately got injured against the
Yeah.
Falcons in 2020.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Again, this is going to be this game against the Saints was more psychological. It's like the Saints have always had the Bucs number. For them to come out and win this game, it was huge. It was
Pop quiz,
huge.
Gene. When was the last time we swept the Saints?
2015?
15 years ago.
No, wow.
2007.
2007, really? Wow.
15 years. I was a pimply faced eighth grader.
Wow, that's crazy. But the Saints, when you look at the division historically, when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you look at the divisions, when they were the NFC North division, it was the Chicago Bears that always had the Bucs number. Always. You could have had the most trash. You could have gone and got a quarterback from Labor Ready and put him under center, and it would have still had the Bucs number. And I cannot. There's always that team, and I think with New Orleans and Atlanta go back and forth because they've always there will be a time that they just have each other's number. When one team is doing really good, the other team will come in and spoil it for them. So I mean, even with divisions, you've just seen that. And I think New Orleans has always had Tampa's number. There may be a span of years where they don't get swept, but for the most part, when you go back and look, New Orleans has just been it.
Yeah, and I mean
It's
they just
crazy.
do everything well. I mean,
And
if
somebody
Mark Ingram doesn't walk out of bounds the way that
that's a
Cooper
totally
Kupp
different game.
did,
It's a totally different game.
everything
And
had to go wrong for the Saints. And then Keanu
yeah,
Neal made the hell of a play. Carl Nassib made the sack, like
yeah.
the play
And
before.
and and let me ask you this: what do you think about this? Because there was a former Saints player, and it was on. I'm not much of a NFL Network guy. I normally stick to local podcasts and stuff. But he made the point that the New Orleans Saints with Sean Payton were built to beat the Bucs. And I cannot I don't know how else you can really put it, because that's the one team that's consistently been able to just go in and do stuff.
Hey, we've had 2 home games with them with Brady
Mhm.
combined for 3 points.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just however they're designed, they're designed, well, not so much this year, but when they had a legitimate coach, I mean, that's kind of what they did. So
Yeah. And then G
I don't
Vegas,
know.
I love the math. Again, I think Evans is probably going to pop off for someone, and I think
Yeah.
that'll help his cause. But yeah, 2 of the last 4 games I feel like are what's going to make that up. I don't think he's going to
Mhm.
50 us to death in those 4
Yeah.
games.
And there was another point. I try to stay away from NFL Facebook. Totally try to avoid it like the plague. But and again, I got to put this out here. I'm going to put this out here to the listeners. Um, I feel like the coaching staff is forced into good moves that they have to make, like with with Gadecki going to Leverett, with Lenny, and they're forced to
Otten.
go to Rashad White, Cade Otton. They've been in a position where I believe that if these players were healthy or there weren't certain circumstances, they would continue to run with what they were working with. Do you think that's a fair
Following the
assessment?
Jameis Winston mindset of, well, if I'm healthy, I'm the starter. That's essentially kind of
Yeah.
what we've been running with. But
Mm,
I think again, from a personnel standpoint, Bud Cannibalis have got to say both Lenny and Rashad are starting to complement each other very well, except when the play calling becomes a factor.
mhm,
100% agree. I think we've learned that Rashad needs to have certain keys and situations where he
mhm,
needs to be in. It's short yardage and goal line are to me the necessities. That
Yeah,
screen to Lenny in the first drive that led to that field goal. I think if Rashad has that ball, I think he's in the end zone.
yeah,
And for
and
that last play, I think it had to be Rashad too.
yeah, and I like to talk about speed and space, and that's what I love about Rashad White, his natural catching ability. I mean, if you guys are very knowledgeable, everybody in the chat and the people that watch are really knowledgeable. You know what I'm talking about. What we saw from Ronald Jones last year was, and I love Ronald Jones when he was here, regardless. But the guy, it was painful to watch him try to catch a pass. Whereas when you're watching Rashad White has has natural mechanics like a wide receiver almost when he's catching a ball, and he's a great decision maker, and he's able to get up the field. And I just can't understand why you can't design some plays for him, scheme some plays for him, and just work off of that, because right now every team that the next four teams that it's four teams, right, that the Bucs face. San Francisco, Arizona, Atlanta. Yeah, four teams. The next four teams already know that the Bucs are going to run on first down. They already know it. They're probably just okay.
The
We
only
know
thing
we're
is
going to.
two of the wait, no, 5 game. I forgot about Arizona
Arizona. That's what I said. So it's going to be San Francisco, Arizona,
and
Cincinnati,
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So it's five teams. They
Yep.
all know. They've already got this game planned out. Okay, they're going to run it first. We could stack the box. They could put all 11 men in the box, and it wouldn't matter. But they're still going to try to run the ball, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. It's too obvious. The only thing though is I think 2.5 of those teams are too good or not good enough to even stop it. Those two teams being Carolina and Atlanta. And then I think Arizona, from what I'm hearing, is COD's starting to die down. So maybe Kyler will start playing better. I tweeted out earlier. If they release a new patch on Christmas Eve, that's my hope. So we can keep him occupied. But
Yeah.
I mean, the that's the thing about our schedule is there's 5 games left. If you win 2 of them, one of them being the Falcons, sad to say you're 8 wins and in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's crazy. It really is, because just the way the season has gone, and this is not what I was expecting. It really isn't.
No.
And I do want to talk about, because it's in the chat here. Start K. Dotton regardless if Braid is healthy. I don't see why you don't. Why not start him? I think that's a good play, and so that's a good
Remember a
move.
couple of years ago when Doug Martin was on the field, you didn't know kind of what was going on, but then once Dirk Cutter put in Charles Sims, you knew it was a pass. When Braid's
Exactly.
in, no, it's a pass. And if it's a run, Braid,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just isn't that he's an
He's
effective
not a
run
pass
blocker.
blocker.
I mean,
Yeah, he's
Otten
not.
isn't Gronk by any means. Um,
But
but
he's an
yeah, it's
upgrade.
bad, man, when
He's an
Braid's in.
upgrade when it comes to pass
Oh, did I
blocking, though.
freeze?
No, well, you did a little bit, but you're back. Oh, no,
Oh,
you're gone.
am I back?
No, not now. But I can hear you. I've got your audio, which is important. As
Oh,
long as
hey,
you got your audio.
this happened when I was on with Bob Rose last week, so we're just gonna pop that on. Are you able to still hear
Mm.
me okay?
Yep, I hear you good.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
So, to be honest, man, I don't know. I don't know what needs to happen, but there needs to be a shakeup of some sort. Um, it's hard to believe that you have that much of a scoring decline from one season to the next. And I understand Gronk being gone. I totally get that. But you've got talent on the field that you can work around.
I mean, on both sides of the ball too. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Zion McCollum. Why the fuck is he out there?
Again, it's a good
Before, I
question.
mean, at the Ravens game, all they did was pick on either Devin White or Zion McCollum. That
Mhm.
was the Ravens' offense.
Yeah.
The Saints. I mean, every third down they were picking on Zion. Every third down, it was ridiculous, especially in the second half when they were trying to milk the clock.
Yeah. So as you grade this, and I want to get your grades, and listeners out here too, if you want to put your grades in the chat. I'm going to start with the low hanging fruit here. Um, how would you grade this Bucks offense from A to F?
C minus, D
C minus.
plus. I mean, because think about it, like, I mean, let's say you're doing you have a multiple choice and an essay question at the end,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Obviously, the essay question is going to be worth more than all of those, multiple choice questions. Let's say there's 20 of them. I mean, the Bucs failed for 98% of that game. They failed.
Yeah.
One decent drive.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to talk about this. With John Robinson getting fired from the Titans, were you expecting that
Oh, I mean, no one can expect that during the season.
during the season?
Obviously, Vrabel was not happy with the AJ Brown trade, and I don't think it was a coincidence. He was fired after the Eagles and AJ Brown completely just went off on them. I think there was definitely a correlation there, but it sounds like Mike Vrabel's just going to be the Bill Belichick of the Titans organization right now, and
That
that'll
never
be for
worked.
better or for worse. But I mean, I think John Robinson will probably catch on somewhere, maybe as a GM, but if not, Jason Light's gonna welcome
Yeah,
him to the Bucs.
there has to be a place for him here in Tampa. I thought that he was very instrumental with helping Jason Light get off the ground. I know that it was a bumpy start, and Jason Light's still my guy. That's still my guy, regardless of what's going on right now. I think he's put enough talent on this roster that the Bucs should be winning more games and the Bucs should be doing better. So
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
issues are not the GM of what's plaguing the team right now.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And again, we've seen this movie before, man. I'm telling you, with some of the other head coaches that we've had. And in my honest opinion, I just feel like this is something needs to change. There needs to be motivation. It's going to be scary next year because right now you don't know who your quarterback's going to be. You don't know what this team is, literally what this team is going to look like. And with Tom Brady coming, with Jensen, with Tristan Wirfs, with Ali Marpet, all these guys that you had on the O line, you can see what a team that's well put together can do versus a team that has a few pieces and they're missing the coaching and they're missing a quarterback. So it's very concerning to me if this is what we're getting from the coaching staff with this level of talent. It's concerning next year for me. Not to look too far ahead. We've got a lot of football to be played, but definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah. And then also, while we're on cuts or firings right now, Jalen Darden, I thought it was very interesting that not only we cut him, but now we're hosting auditions for the punt and kick return job, which to me is weird because
So I
you're in the
want you
middle
to
of a playoff run.
I want you to put your GM hat on and you hold your coaching hat to the side here. But what what logically could be the reasoning for making a move, such a drastic move like this? I thought that he was serviceable. I mean, he's like, what is he like, middle, lower middle as far as punt returners right now?
This
I
year
think
he's above average, and that's the
yeah,
thing that's interesting because
yeah.
and everyone's like, "Oh, he doesn't break one."
He
No
doesn't
kick
need
returners break it. What the thing is, the NFL nerfed pretty much all special teams returns. It's nerfed. Like you cannot like Cordell Patterson passing that
yeah.
record. No one thought it was going to be possible because he hasn't
Mhm.
even had a punt or kickoff return really in 5 years because of how the wedge blocking on kickoffs. Punters
Mhm.
are just now stupidly talented.
Yeah.
I mean, like they just coffin corner you, or everyone's just way too fast getting up the field for you to be able to
Yeah.
make a possible return. So
Yep.
like that's just what's weird to me is okay if they had a plan in place, it makes sense. Whatever, because he's not contributing anything as a receiver. But if
Yeah.
you're telling me Scotty Miller is the one who's going to be returning kicks, I'm
That's
sorry.
concerning. That's concerning.
Not only is he injury prone, he is a body catcher, which is why he has
Yeah.
so many drops because he doesn't use his hands well.
And he
And
loves to
he's afraid
jump.
of contact. And everyone
And
said Darden's afraid of contact. He is. Don't get me
mm,
wrong. Darden was afraid of contact. Scotty, go look up 2020 film of him
but
in
but I
preseason.
will say this about Darden. He pretty much protected the ball for the most part.
He has
He
zero fumbles for his entire career.
Yeah. And I guess again I'm just not able to wrap my head around that. because if you look out on the street right now, there's nobody out on the street that could come in and I think that would do better than what Darden's doing
I
right
got
now.
one for
So
you. Jaden Mickens.
yes, Bud just brought his name up. Bring Mickens back.
But what was interesting about Darden, though, I thought something happened off the field.
There has to be.
No, but
There
what happened, Greg, I mean,
I think we lost you, but I'll wait for you because that's I was under the impression, there has to be more to this than they're just cutting him. I don't know. I kind of struggle with that. I want to go back in here. Justin Stevens, thank you so much for checking us. Justin Stevenson, long time no see, my brother. How you doing, my friend? KGH for life. The way Todd Bowles coaches here, let me go through some of these because listen, guys, I apologize. I really haven't been focused on the chat like I should. I haven't been integrating you guys into the show as much as I should, and I'm really working to change that. And I apologize, and I will definitely do better with that. So, I do want to take a moment to just kind of go through the chat here a little bit.
can you
Um,
hear me?
yeah, I hear you
I'm
fine.
back. Okay, so the whole thing. So apparently he posted on Instagram that the Browns claimed him. And, there was like a comment in there about, they thought like my career was over or anything. So it sounds like it was a performance thing, which is weird to me. I thought maybe it'd be like a DUI or,
I
missing
I
meetings or something.
there has to be something else. There has to be. I
Because
I
they were
just
so
have
high on him. All they talked about was how amazing he is and was gonna be. It just seems weird.
yeah. Is Jaden Mickens is available, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like I said, you just kind of have to sit back and wait for everything to kind of process to see what they're going to do. Bud Cannibalist, Light has hit more home runs than not. I know people are going to keep going back to 2016, but we have to kind of get past 2016. I love what Jason Light has done. Folks, I got a chance to talk with Jason Light in Germany and in Munich, and we sat down and chopped it up a little bit. And we're on the same page because I've always believed that it takes a little bit of time to get certain players to uh, into the scheme of things with pro football. So um, I like how he thinks. I like his process. I like that he works with his head coaches, and I don't see Jason Light going anywhere. I think Jason Light will eventually. I'm going to say this will be a Ring of Honor candidate. You've heard me stop
Not
mentioning Rich.
candidate. I think he's in.
Yeah, you heard me stop talking about Rich McKay, and I think what Jason Light has done with his body of work compared to what Rich McKay has done, I would have to say that I think what Jason Light has done has just has way surpassed that. Just when you look at how he handled the salary cap, when you look at how he handled bringing players back, the players that he's been able to bring in. I mean, there's just a lot to it, and I'm really happy with what he's done. So KGH for life. The way how Todd Bowles coaches, it leaves little room for error. This is true, and that's kind of what we've seen is that if there's any, and that's what scares me about this upcoming game with the San Francisco 49ers. The Bucs have to play a perfect game. They
Just to
have
compete.
just to compete. If they get behind, if there's not going to be any of this 3 and out or a field goal here, field goal there. You're talking about Christian McCaffrey. You're talking about Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, George
George
Kittle.
Kittle.
I mean, this team is loaded, and what they did with what's Purdy, the quarterback's name is
Brock.
Purdy.
Brock
Yeah,
Purdy.
Brock
Mr.
Brock
Irrelevant.
Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. I'm going to say this: if you go back and watch what the coaching staff did with him, they simplified the playbook and they allowed him to come in and got him comfortable where he could make plays, and that's what they did. And it scares me because this is going to come down to coaching, I think, personally, because I really believe that the Bucs have the talent to win this game against San Francisco. I've said this since the beginning of the season. the Bucs are in every single game until they're not. And I really believe that. I think they have the talent on both sides of the ball to compete with anybody in the NFL, even the San Francisco 49ers. And this is going to be a tough game. And like I said, in order for the Bucs to win this game, and I'm saying this, and there is, you can argue with your mom if you want to, but I'm telling you right now, the Bucs have to play a perfect game to win this game. This isn't Seattle. This isn't the Rams. This is the San Francisco 49ers.
Can I give you a nightmare scenario right now?
Yeah, I don't know if my
George
liver can
Kittle,
handle it.
okay, Debo in the slot. McCaffrey motions from the running back position to the slot. Kittle runs a 9 up the middle, a clear out route, and you have Debo and CMC crossing each other.
That's scary.
Imagine Devin White having to
Devin
fake
White
that.
will be lost on that.
And that's what Kyle Shanahan's going to do. He's going to isolate. They have a very creative run game. I think Scott Reynolds of Peter Report said this earlier today, and I kind of am with him. I think this is the game you start Anthony Nelson and Carl Nassib, and then just kind of use GTS in like a rotation or like a wildcat, just kind of wild card, just kind of running or like mixing things up, because they're going like GTS or whoever's in there. We need to hold up against the run.
Yeah,
because they will Saints us to death on the offense, and then defensively they will swallow you up. They will play that zone coverage, and then it's kind of like what happened with the Saints in that we're getting those out routes early. I call them my college called them the Okie route, because it's like, okay, I'm going to take 10 yards. And then all of a sudden,
they
field
shut
shrinks.
it down. They shut it down.
Field shrinks.
Yeah, they constrict
And now
it.
you feel like you're, and then next thing you know, Fred Warner's got a pick. Next thing you know, Nick Bosa's 14.5 sacks, a couple forced fumbles is coming in.
Yeah.
Brady's already scared of pass rushes. Like, that's when it gets scary.
And my concern is Tristan Wirfs. Before Wirfs got hurt, I was not concerned with Nick Bosa. Not even concerned.
Well, he shut down Joey his rookie year.
Yeah.
Shut him down. That was the only reason why I think we had that comeback.
Yeah. So it was at that point I was like, okay, I'm not too worried about Tristan Wirfs, but now with Wirfs out, you're gonna have to. This is where coaching, when you're limited on your players, this is where coaching comes into play.
Find me a coach who's done more with less than Kyle Shanahan. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, Shanny's.
Look at all the quarterbacks that he's had that are shit. Nick Mullins, Josh Johnson.
Yeah,
like these are all quarterbacks who've started for him, and they even before Jimmy, they were still pretty decent.
Yeah. So they're saying G Vegas, Bud Cannibals is saying it's a lack of progression with Darden.
Yeah, but don't do it in the middle of the season.
You're doing it on the back end of the season, and you're trying to get into the playoffs.
If they did it before the bye, cool.
Yeah, and you've got a big ass question mark right now at kick returner, which is very important if you're as you're looking at this.
Can I give my guess on who it's going to be?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Gio. And this will be the last thing I say before I hop off. Welcome to our guest. Okay. I think Gio's going to be the primary kick returner moving forward. He's not going to play offensively. I think Rachaad White's kind of taken his role on the offense. So that'll be interesting to see how that whole situation plays out. But everyone, I'm going to be hopping off. But again, thank you again for Janelle to hop on and speak with Gene. You guys know where to follow me on Twitter, and go Bucs, and we'll see what happens Sunday. Just don't get your hopes too far up is my only thing I'll throw out there.
All right. Hey, KB, thank you so much. Janelle, thank you so much for coming on. This KB is jumping off here. Real quick, tell Taylor thank you for, I know you had a rough week, and I appreciate you coming on, man.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, everyone.
All right. And Janelle, how are you doing?
Hi, I am doing pretty well. I had a vocal student, so I'm a singer and a vocal coach.
Oh, yeah, and a very good singer at that, by the way. Hey, so I kind of want to go back to the Saints game, and I know you were there, and you're in the crowd, and I saw the pictures. You met some really cool people, some people I haven't even met yet. But I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on the game as it progressed. You know, being there, it was a Monday night game.
Right.
Did you get to go to any of the tailgates?
I did. I did experience a little bit of tailgating with some people. They were super hype. It was super dope. Really cool vibes, safe, and just a lot of fun at the tailgate. So I always like it.
So what was the best part of it for you? Was it that last touchdown, or what was the best part for you?
About the game?
Yeah, about the game.
The best, yes, was the last 5 minutes of the game. I am a true diehard Bucs fan, and I know that the Bucs are known for giving us high blood pressure. So
And making us drink a lot. Yeah, that too.
last 5 minutes of the game, you know what Tom Brady does.
Yeah.
He something clutch. The thing that I wish he and not just the team, the offense, because I'm a big believer that it's not just one person that takes the team far. It's everybody. They need to play from jump, not wait halftime to actually, to do your thing and whatnot. Because that's what my coach, because I used to play football. And my coach would always tell us that you don't wait till a certain moment to start gaining that momentum. That momentum should start before you even get on the field, first quarter. So I just wish that we could have that momentum and that drive from the beginning till the end. You know what I mean? And if the people ain't doing their job, sit them out.
Yeah.
So, like with McCullum, I love the dude, a great rookie, but he was just missing a lot of, come on now, like tackle.
Yeah.
And it caused us for the other team to score because truly and honestly, the Saints, they were playing like a high school football team. I'm not being, I'm not being mean, but
You're not hurt. If you have anything bad to say about the Saints, you're not going to hurt my feelings, and I'm not going to say anything. I know this is your first time on the show. Just so you know about me, when it comes to historically, I hate the Atlanta Falcons. Most Buck fans do not like the Saints, but for the hatred that most Bucks fans have, then I guess you would call them newer Bucks fans. For the Saints, I have it for Atlanta. I've had it for Atlanta since we came into this division,
right.
And had to play against these guys. I hate Atlanta, and I struggle when the Bucks lose to Atlanta. If they lose to them, it's hard for me to deal with.
Right.
But that's kind of my thing. But kind of getting back to the Saints, this was a game that this was a winnable game.
Right.
And I mean, it was pretty much even, and it is a division rivalry. So you could kind of expect it to be real close,
right?
The way it was. And I don't know. I just, kind of, you were there at the game, and you were, where were you sitting at?
I was sitting in the lower level, like 107, like literally.
Okay. Oh, you got the good seats.
Yeah. Anytime that I go to a game, I gotta get good seats. I want it like.
There you go. There you
I was
go.
on the jumbotron. All my friends were like, "I saw you on the jumbotron."
But you know what? I honestly believe that someday we're gonna, soon we're gonna see you out there singing the national anthem too. Yeah. I really believe that.
So funny
thing, in
2019, I actually sung the anthem, but it was with the group. So that's one thing that we're trying to work through is they always want like groups and choirs to sing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So and what okay, 2019, I'm old, my old man here. I'm trying to revert back. And so what group were you with at that time?
It was actually two of them. It was a church choir, and then it was my church's team group. We have a group called Sound of Truth. And then it was Christian Chambliss. It was like a community choir that was all together. But that was a great experience. It was cool. One day I'll sing it by myself. We're going
and that's what I'm hoping for. You have an amazing voice. Folks, if you're just joining us, this is Janelle. You please tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Of course. Yes. So my name is Janelle. J''Nelle. Gotta spell it out. Um and you can find me everywhere. I am Janelle. I am Jnelle. I recently dropped a single called Blue. I have music projects out. I have
Number
performance.
one.
Just finished doing The Color Purple. I was Suge Avery. Now I'm doing Lion King tomorrow.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, I'm Sarabi. So
So so how long is that going? How long will you be doing that for?
it's just 2 weeks. It's this week.
Okay.
Yeah, all the tickets are sold out. So,
Okay. All
but
right.
so
I
yeah,
won't I won't be there until Gasparilla, so hopefully I'll get to see you perform at some point while I'm
uh,
there. So
yeah. So yeah, so I'm a singer, songwriter, vocal coach. That's what I do, and I'm a huge diehard Bucks fan, like my daddy.
so how long have you been a Bucks fan?
Whew, before the '03 championship, when we were sucky.
Yeah.
My dad has been a fan since Leroy Selman, all of them,
Okay. All
I,
right.
I've been die hard.
So Tampa is in your blood.
It's in my blood.
That's
813.
what you yeah, there
Hey,
you go. There you go. You see, I got the rocking the Cigar City today.
yeah.
But so what really got you into watching football? Was it your dad more than anything?
Yes, I've always had a love for football. It was my father, and also I played football in high school. I was defensive end and linebacker, so I just always had a love for that. And because at first they were like, "You're so tall, Janelle," because I am pretty tall, and they was like, "You should do basketball," and I went to basketball, and no. So, but I've always had that love. My dad and I we have a tradition. Every Sunday, Thursday, or Monday, we would watch the game together and whatnot. And it's just been going on ever since. Now I'm attending the games, but at the big stadium, it's too many people. I'm like, Daddy, chill out. Oh,
So
right.
have you got to go to any away games?
No, I have not. I've always wanted to. Maybe next time, I'll get that opportunity to do so. But I haven't been to any away games yet.
Yeah. And one more thing I did want to ask you about the game, and I'll talk about the Niners game here coming up, and I'll get some thoughts from the people in the chat.
Right.
But at the end of the game, were you hearing the fans singing Country Road?
I did. I did. At first, I was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm hearing it." Okay, cool. It was a little bit here and there. Yeah, I did hear him.
So I don't know if you watched the game in Munich, the Bucks game in Munich.
I did. They were on one accord.
Yeah. So I was at the game in Munich, and
Oh
and
wow.
and just everybody singing. And this is where this came from. It's just everybody singing this song, and it was like 60,000 drunk German guys that were just singing, German people just singing this song, and it was
Right,
incredible.
right.
And so it was in a timeout. Timeout's over. Tom Brady is coming under center, and they're
Mhm.
still singing.
Right.
They're still singing, and it's loud.
I saw
So
that.
it was incredible. And I don't think any video or any pictures or anything will do it justice. You
Right.
had to be there to really see it. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I heard about it, that's why I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts when you heard
It
Country
was.
Road?
It wasn't as unison or in sound like it was then. It was just a few people who were singing it here and there, but a lot of people, the non true Bucks fans, they left.
I
But
know.
I know my Bucks.
Yeah.
Every game is a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So I was watching the game. With games like this, I turn off social media because I've
right.
got friends. I got friends that are Saints fans. I got friends that are Carolina fans. I've got friends that are Atlanta fans. So when the game's going on and I'm like into the game, I'm focused and I'm not ready. I'm not a trash talker.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let me put this down. So I put my phone down and I'm watching the game and I'm stressed out and my nerves are like up here. And then the game's over and I pick up my phone. I'm like, I'll look at it tomorrow.
Right.
So I picked my phone up the next day. I saw First, I think your picture was the first one I saw where I think you were walking out with somebody. There was
Uh,
a video of you walking out with somebody, and I was like, yeah, I guess they won.
oh
So
yeah,
you know,
to the Super Bowl.
yeah. so so you know, I kind of went through everything, and I know it had to be an emotional game. I'm sure where you were sitting at, people were
Right.
freaking out. You know,
Yeah,
just
I sat by this couple. They actually came all the way from Michigan because he has
oh
been a
wow.
diehard fan,
Mhm.
even in Michigan, and he's not from here. And like they were about to cry. I was like, just give us time. My coach, game isn't over until fourth quarter 0. He was like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And then when they scored that touchdown, and yeah, Julio made that catch, they went crazy. It was like, and I was afraid nothing
and,
is
and and you know what? Honestly, Julio, when the Bucks brought Julio in,
uh-huh.
my hope was for Julio to be important at the end of the season. I didn't
Right,
care. I didn't care that he was out. I didn't care that he didn't play
right,
consecutive games. I didn't care about any of that.
mm,
My hope was that, you know, if the Bucks make it to the playoffs, you've got Julio healthy.
right,
The Bucks make it to the playoffs, you got Chris Godwin healthy. You've got
right.
Mike Evans healthy. You've got Russell Gage.
Woo,
All these people, and I know a lot of people are upset with Russell Gage and
right.
his hamstring injuries. I mean, there's you know, hamstring is nothing you can really do about that. But
Yeah,
I can tell you, he can totally redeem himself if they're in the playoffs. If the Bucks are in the playoffs and he makes a play,
right,
it erases all that other stuff.
right.
Totally erases it,
Yeah,
and
because they're
that's what.
great players. I mean, you can't, you can't control what the
Yeah.
body is and how people slam into you. That's what kills me. It's just like that's how I know you're not a true Bucks fan is when you go against the actual team in itself.
Mm,
By saying negative things. Oh, I wish they should. You can't control that. You want people.
mm.
They're human too. They hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you expect? You want him to go out and on an injury and still do a come on now.
That's not realistic either.
You
So, you know, again, that's just one of
know,
those things.
I see all of that on like Twitter and all. I'm like, are you serious?
I tend to mute a lot of that, and I'm just like, okay, you know, like on my show, you can have whatever opinion you want. I'm not gonna down anybody for however they believe. You know, you believe how you believe, but
Right,
at the same time, I want this to be a safe place for people to like, okay, this is what I think, and
right,
nobody's going to attack you for how you believe. Like, you know, I think that's important. I don't think we have enough of that. I think there's only one radio station in Tampa, WDAE, one sports station that everybody's kind of forced to listen to. And for me, I'm more of a podcast guy.
right.
Loose Cannons. I love Stank. Me and Stank are like longtime friends. It's so
Aw.
funny because I can remember back in the 80s and 90s, his parents his parents had a shop at Tampa Bay Center.
Mhm.
And I know that I had drunkenly staggered through Tampa Bay Center, and I'm sure that we saw each other and we always laugh about it. Um, he's in the he's in the crew, the Black Pearl, for Gasparilla.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the crew of the Santa Margarita.
Uh-huh.
So our floats are like real close to each other. We've just always been close.
That's
And
cool.
he's somebody that's is really important to me. And you know, when you talk about Tampa, he reminds me so much of it. He's so Tampa to me at
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
I love, I love that. I love
So the Bucks have the San Francisco 49ers coming up.
Mhm.
And do you have any opinion? Have you watched? I mean, I don't know how much of a more of a are you like a Bucks, you focus on the Bucks, or do you watch other teams
I
or
watch I watch other teams, yeah. I think it's going to be an ugly win again. Defense need to step it up. Our O
yeah.
line, God, Jesus Christ.
I'm,
we got
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about the defense. The defense has put us in some pretty good positions at
correct,
times.
right,
And again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I know everybody's perception on things is different. I feel like the defense has given the offense opportunities to score, and I feel like the offense has squandered a lot of great opportunities that they've had. And
Yes.
again, this team, and I think where I'm struggling this year is this team doesn't look like last year's team.
It's not, and I'm trying to figure out like what's missing. And yes, you are right. My thing is that it just looks as if they're relying on certain individuals to build the
Mhm.
team up.
Right.
And it should not be. I'm all about everybody needs to play their best foot forward. Think logically, think strategically. Okay,
Yeah.
like for example, I'm going back to when we lost that playoff game against the Rams. You
Yeah.
already know. With Stafford always looks for Cup. Come
Mm.
on the third down.
Yeah.
Smart. Why would you?
And again, that's one of those things that I honestly believe if they had that play to do over again, they would have called it differently.
Oh my!
Um,
I was like,
it-
why would you do?
yeah.
Why would you make him? He throws long.
Yeah.
To Cup. But anyways, I'm sorry. That's PT.
So it's like
But
PTSD,
right.
and honestly, I love this team. This team has a lot of talent, and for a while I was kind of getting kind of sour because the Bucs were losing games that they should have won. Pittsburgh game, for example, was a game the Bucs should have won, and it's just frustrating. But they turn around and win games like the game against the Rams. I didn't think they were going to win that game, and they went out and they won that game.
Right.
It's like the Saints game. I was watching this game and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. The Saints could end up, regardless of who's on the field, they've always had the Bucs number. They can win this game. So with this team, I have to take it week by week, and I cannot.
Uh-oh. Uh-huh. He will be back on. I think it fell.
Oh, sorry about that. I use my hands a lot, but I hope that this team has figured it out, and they can go through and win these games.
Right.
These upcoming games. These are very important games.
Very.
With the NFC South, they have the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. They have a chance to sweep the Atlanta Falcons, and they could tie with the Carolina Panthers, and that would put them in a good position.
Right.
And to me, that's what matters, is just getting into the playoffs. Once you get your foot in the playoffs, everything's reset and you start all over again.
Yeah.
So
that's true. So they got to put their head in the game, but I'm still rooting for my Bucs. We're gonna win.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Janelle, I actually listened to your whole album today. You are very talented, and I want to just want everybody to get to know you. I would love to see you like at a Lightning game, or possibly a Rays game or something like that. I'd love to hear you sing an anthem. I think it would be kind of cool.
Oh, I did do the Rays game. I sung the anthem for the Rays 3 times. First time.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was I?
Planet Earth.
Yeah.
The first.
Yeah, you can hold that against me.
16. The second one was last year, and then I did one this year when they played against the Yankees. So I've sung the anthem.
So when are you performing again?
I'm focused on Lion King for the next 2 weeks.
Oh.
Lion King is my main focus. And I'm actually performing at the Straz on New Year's Eve. So I'll be performing at the Straz Center in Tampa for New Year's Eve. But I perform I usually post, where I perform at and all of that.
I will definitely be following you. Hopefully while I'm there for Gasparilla, I'll get to see you perform then.
Yes, I would love to. Yeah, I would love that. I'm usually on like the floats and stuff like that. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm usually it's like a Caribbean float that they
You know what? I know your float was right in front of ours. We were float 99 in January.
Yeah, we were Caribbean.
I know the float you're talking about because it was freezing, but your float was your float had to have been like 97 or 98. And I think our float was not, the float I was on was 99.
Uh-huh.
So I walked by and I saw everybody performing or getting ready, or practicing, getting ready, and
Uh-huh.
the music was going, and I didn't want to leave because the music was so good. But
Yeah.
so
That's cool. That's definitely cool. But yeah, so I perform everywhere. I keep people posted. Just follow me, on Twitter. I am Janelle. All you're gonna see is me talking about football.
and
And
that's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. That is perfect. We
yeah,
need more of that.
that's I- that's
so
uh-huh.
oh no, what I was gonna say is the next home game. Are you going to the next home game? I'm trying to think when the
Bengals. I think that's the
yeah
18th.
the
Um,
18th. Are you
I may be there.
okay?
Oh, I may be there.
Okay.
Will be. But yeah, I should be there.
Well, that's great. Well, I really want to thank you for coming on. You are now a friend of the show, and you are always welcome on here whenever you want to. If you need to promote something, that's what I'm here for. Um, shout out to We the Thunder podcast. They do a lot with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we're going to be doing a lot more collaborations, and I definitely want to get you back on again. Whether it's in the off season or whatever, I would love to have you on and just kind of see what you're doing. This is more of a fan-centric show. To those that are just checking me out for the first time, fan-centric show. I try to do more and give the fans a voice. Hey, regardless of what you think, I'd love to have you on here and see what you think. And you're a part of Tampa, and this is important to get people like you on here, so more people get to know who you are.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, I'm going to take some questions in the chat here. And let's see. Justin Stevenson, I feel like the Bucs will figure it out. Might take the entire season to do it, though. And, we're very fortunate the NFC South has been as bad as they've been. I mean,
Very.
you know, but you know what? I'll take it. And I have to apologize because I remember, was it the Seattle Seahawks? I
Right.
think they had like a 7 or 8 win season, and they made it into the playoffs. And I was complaining about it. And then here you have the Bucs that could potentially end up the same way. But
Mhm.
I am so excited, that the Bucs are, headed that way. So it's really cool.
Right.
Bud Cannibalist says thank you. My hope is to see you at a Bucs game. I mean, that would be so amazing for you to be performing at a Bucs game.
I would love
That just
to put my proposal and I said, listen, y'all need to have me at that halftime because what they had at that halftime, I ain't hating, but I know I can put on a show.
yeah. Well, that would be that, again, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. I know that, something good will happen out of this. You are too talented not to be out there. So
Thank you so much.
definitely appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, guys, that's pretty much it this week. Again, Janelle, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, where they can find you on Spotify. Are you on iTunes? And just everywhere they can find you.
Yes. First off, shout out to Bud Cannibalist. Thank you. And thank you for spelling my name right. So, yes. So it's J'_NELLE. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, TikTok, all of that. I am JNELLE, or my website www.imjnelle.com. You can find there. You can find my music all on streaming platforms: Spotify, Pandora, you name it, YouTube. The list goes on. Apple Music, Amazon Music. These are.
it was so funny because I was gonna play that #1 track, but I was like, man, I'll probably get copyright stricken if I try to put that on there. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Right. So, but yeah, so that's how you can support. Definitely support. There's a lot of talent here in the Tampa
Yeah.
Bay and I'm honored to be a part of that creative
And,
aspect.
and that's what I love. There's so much talent that doesn't get recognized in the Tampa Bay area. It's a shame. It
Right.
really is. And
Yeah.
for years, it's been like that, where there are people that I was like, oh man, they're good, and I would love to hear them more, and you just don't hear from them. So it's great if I can do something to help. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and I appreciate you for having me on this platform so that I can reach. I always say I'm a new artist every day because everybody has a.
Yep.
So yeah, I appreciate
Well,
that.
you got a fan right here.
Yay!
All
All
right,
right.
guys.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's pretty much it for me. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I'll follow you back. And again, thank you so much. Real quick, any final thoughts in the chat? Always go Bucks. Let me go back through here. Bud says 2 games. I'm very doubtful about the Niners and the Bengals. Um, I honestly believe these are all winnable games, but and I know that I sound like a homer saying this, but with the level of talent that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, I really believe they can win they can win all 4 of these games, or they can win like half of them. But I don't think the Bucs will not go without another with like the losing streak. I really believe that this team is talented and they're hungry, and I think they'll get around this. They'll get over this hump and go into the playoffs. I'm hoping they can go into the playoffs strong. So definitely something to keep your eyes on. But anyway, guys, again, thank you so much, everybody in the chat. Bud, as always, I really appreciate you. If I think we're on Twitter together. Let me know. I'll be in Tampa for Gasparilla. I am going to the Bucks Cardinals game. I will be doing a Buck What You Heard, a special Buck What You Heard uh, at the Cardinals game. Shout out to Cigar City. Love them. Will the Brewer, my guy, Will the Brewer. What's up, Will the Brewer? Always good to have you on. Thank you for being in the chat. Again, Justin, thank you, bro. I really appreciate you too. Yeah, I would love to catch up with you guys. Yeah. But again, I'll have the phone lines next week. I want to do more with the listeners, and you guys mean so much to me. So I want to make sure that I get you guys in here. And I want your opinions matter, because without your opinions, what do you have? So again, thank you guys so much. And shout out to We the Thunder, my man Shooter, drinking my highlight right here. But we got some big things coming up in the going into the off season, going into next year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Nestor, are you coming to Arizona? Are you going to go to the Cardinals game? I would love to. I love to hang out with you, man. But if not, I understand. Eventually, we're going to link up. I know the Buckaholics are doing a lot of big things with the game for the Niners, so always look out for that. But anyway, I'm out. Everybody have a great evening, and again, thank you so much. And